Okay, that should be much better. Can everybody hear me? Sorry about that. The microphone decided it was going to be uncooperative. Try that again. Well, welcome to the Pinch Hitter Whiskey Lounge. We're doing something a little different tonight. Instead of my usual open pub games and shenanigans, we're going to do something a little more thoughtful and educational. I actually have a whole prepared presentation on this topic, and I have guests. Um, one of whom is in the background, who I will add in shortly as soon as I get the okay from him. But our topic for tonight is going to be two absolute titans of whiskey, two men who changed not only how whiskey is sold, but how it is consumed entirely. And I would argue not just Scotch, but whiskey overall, even if they didn't drink much bourbon, Irish or otherwise. And we have a giveaway tonight. I am going to change the pinned link to reflect that. We have a giveaway, the first ever on this channel. $5 an entry, and you will have a chance to win a pack of 4 samples. These bottles over here, the 3 Purple Glen Master bottles, and our mystery guest, and a copy of the 2023 Malt Whiskey Guidebook. Yearbook, sorry. And this is a very appropriate choice for the stream. You'll see why later when we get there, but I'm more than happy to give this copy away because this was given to me specifically to give away. So you can don't this camera, man. Really? Oh boy. Give me 1 second. So in order to donate, you can donate via PayPal or Venmo at the links in the description and tag Whiskey Mountains with your entries. Let me fix my video here. I just gave away one of my secrets for tonight. So before I start, I'll bring on my first guest if he's ready. Thumbs up. All right, so the first guest I'm bringing on of my 3 guests, I'm sure you're all familiar with him. He's part of the wonderful Whiskey Crusaders channel. It's Matt.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having me on here, Jim. Good to see
Matt,
you.
you're muted.
I'm muted. That's weird. I was working on my end.
Seems like audio issues are the theme of the night.
Apparently.
Very
Good
funny.
now?
Did I not turn that on? Wait. There we go. Very funny, John. I'll run through the chat real quick.
Okay. The Yeti's on. Let's see here. It says it's working. So the question becomes, what's really wrong with it? I don't know the answer to that question.
I'm quite sure what's going on here with Matt's audio. I can see that his mic is active, but I don't hear him on our side, and I'm wondering if it's something I did.
I don't know. It's a great question. Where is setup? Here we go. Yeah, because it says Yeti's moving around.
On my end. Oh. Okay, so apparently the issue is on my end. I'm not hearing anything. Give me just... Oh, you know what? I think I know what it is. I'm betting. Yep, that's what it is.
Oh, everybody said they hear me. Okay, so it's you, apparently.
Yeah, that was my fault. I had the wrong audio output selected.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm full of problems and issues tonight. Okay. No, that should be everything sorted. If anything else goes wrong, I'm just going to pull the plug and give up.
Okay.
It was on my end.
All right. All good then. Like I'm pretty sure all this shit's working.
Yeah, everything is working. Yeah, sorry, that was entirely me.
Not that I haven't messed these up in the past, but hopefully at this point, done this, hundreds of times. Hopefully this works properly now. I've never seen the software prior, but it's all good.
This is what Ken over Scotch Down Under uses.
Okay. Fancy shit that I don't understand. That's why I got StreamYard. That is for people that don't know what they're doing with technology, which would be me. Like if I can't plug it in and make it work, we're not. It's not going to work out.
Yeah, well, I'm cheap. What can I say?
Hmm.
Yep.
Cool. There you go.
Okay. So, while we're waiting for the second guest to arrive, let's begin. I'm actually going to pull in. Who's messaging me while I'm live?
Oh, that's how it always goes. Someone always messages you when you're live. Yeah, exactly. It is way complicated. I like simple things. Yeah, we pay for the paid version, but that's so we can do other things with it.
So, actually, we have a PowerPoint.
Hey, Donald.
What the?
Weird. It's weird too because on the channel it's clear, but when you look on the background it's fuzzy. Interesting.
It should be better.
Yeah, it's like way better on the actual channel.
Well, I mean, it should be better in the background. I did tweak that because I realized I hadn't changed one of my settings,
Okay.
so it should be a little better in the background.
Either way, as long as what they see is good, who cares?
What is PowerPoint doing? It's pissing me off. Find it that way.
Hey, Z-Man, good to see you in there too. David. Does your computer hate you today, apparently?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay.
I just need to resize this because apparently it decided to be huge. All of this stuff worked before I worked earlier. Now all of a sudden it's all decided to go completely haywire.
Well, that's how it always goes.
And we'll tweak.
Never fails.
Boom.
Oh, look at that fancy.
No swaffle today, Donald.
See, and that's more technology than I use.
Here is tonight's topic: John and Wallace Milroy. Legacy whiskey. As you can see, we have photos of them, photos of their store, and photos of the 3 bottles I have over here. What am I? This wasn't how I wanted to do this. Oh, that's why. Hang on a second. I'm going to switch this up because that's not how I meant to do that.
Okay. Oh, of course they always grow up when you don't want them. That's how it always works. Hey, Chief.
No, that was just me being forgetful. Okay.
Well, the good news is you will learn whiskey bounds, so that Jim's gonna present all about who they are. I've never heard their story either. I know who they are, but I've never actually heard their full story. So I'm looking forward to hearing it myself. So it should be a good fun time.
Well, give me a second.
Ooh, now it's gonna get fancy.
There we go. That's what I wanted to do. Not that.
Whoa. pretty.
That's not going to cooperate, is it?
No, of course not. Not a chance.
No, we'll just do that. Let's begin.
Okay.
Why am I not? What on earth? I just realized I'm not showing up. What is going on here?
We're in some like chat land. I don't know. Like I said, this is all technology that's way beyond my ability.
Yeah, I know. Just give me. I'm just realized I'm there, but not there, and I don't know why. It's very
You
odd.
ran away. It's fine.
Man, I had this all set up and nothing wants to work.
Never fails.
Why am I not showing up?
It's like the Zoom meetings at the beginning of COVID. Oh. Well, you know.
I do something stupid.
People get fired at work for doing what they shouldn't do.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh.
Hang on.
Nope.
Okay. Why am I not here? This is really annoying.
Now it's just me.
I'll be right back, Matt.
Okay.
I gotta come back in.
He's coming back. I guess it's just me for now. I don't know. Like I said, I am of zero value on this lovely technology that Jim has. Apparently, Ken knows how to use it, but well beyond my abilities. I'm like, oh, I can click and add people. Ooh, and I can resort things and put boxes on things, and I can add banners at the bottom, names. That's about it. But I guess Jim will be back to tell us the story about Milroy's here in a minute. I don't know how long it takes him to come back in. Hopefully, fairly quickly, because I have no idea the answer to that question. But I guess we'll see. So, I won't pour anything yet because I don't know what order he wants us to pour this stuff in. But we are getting thirsty at this point in time. Say hi. We got Richie Z's coming in. Good to see you. And I know there's a contest here that Jim's got to win these three here, and then also another mystery pour in his samples. And he's got that Venmo and PayPal set up there to go into that. So check that out if you want to enter into that drawing for the evening. All that good fun stuff. Oh, there's Jim's back.
Okay. What in the world?
I don't know, dude. He doesn't like you.
Sorry, folks. This should have been a lot smoother. Nothing ever works the way you want it to.
Mm-mm. Hey, Faz. Good to see you.
Matt's just sitting here in shocked silence.
Yeah, it's entertaining.
No,
It's all good.
No, this is so dumb. Why is it defaulting to that?
Because it doesn't like you. Because whenever you want it to.
Why the hell is it defaulting to the microphone, the Blue Yeti mic, like it's a friggin' speaker? Hello?
Who knows?
Yeah, I'm trying, Matt. I'm trying.
It's all good. Oh, yeah, that's like, yeah. Are they here? All of this?
Oh yeah, I know.
Okay, so making sure this is not strong there. I didn't figure it was.
Pull the presentation back up, and we'll try this again.
Woo! Ooh. Closer.
I'm here. I'm the PowerPoint.
Ah, okay, cool.
So, John and Wallace Milroy, born in Dumfries in the Scottish Lowlands well, we'll see it on the next couple of slides, but 1931 and 1934, not respectively. Their parents ran the Woolpack Inn in Dumfries, which they both worked at as teenagers. And they were both awarded, among other things, Whiskey Magazine's Icons of Whiskey Lifetime Achievement Award in 2010. I wanted to have more on this tab, but I just didn't find anything. You'll see why in a second. Come on. John Milroy. That's him up there in the corner.
Mm.
Like his brother, he worked in his parents' pub and inn as a teen before becoming a roving relief manager for other local pubs. Following this, he served in the RAF out of Brampton in Cambridgeshire. After that, he took a business management course at Lupton Technical College. And then was hired to manage the Crump's wine shops. I'm sure there's no relation. Followed by a wine shop in South Kensington. Following this, he was appointed manager of Kettner's Wine Shop, which I have a photo of somewhere. Should put this together better. Here it is. Switch sources for a second here. Kettner's Wine Shop, right there. That didn't do it. When did it do that?
No, it's lots of fine looking fellas here. None of them are wine shops, though.
I think all sorts of happy right now. Kettner's Wine Shop on Greek Street in Soho. This is relevant because, as we'll learn in a second, in 1964 he departs Kettner's, and with some investment help from his brother Wallace, who will find out what he was doing on the next slide, opens the Soho Wine Market down the road at 3 Greek Street. And Wallace, again up here in the corner, nice bow tie. He also worked at his parents' pub. Went on to serve as a paratrooper in the RAF. After that, he departed for South Africa, among other places, but he spent a number of years in South Africa, and he worked, among other things, as a gold miner, which apparently made him quite wealthy.
There you go.
In the late 60s, early 70s, he returns to the UK because his children are entering school, and he wants them schooled in the UK. And his brother John asks him to join him at the Soho Wine Market, which is soon to become Milroy's of Soho. And he takes over what was their second location, the Ship Wine Shop. I'm not sure where that was exactly. And it's important to note here, John was a wine guy. John drank whiskey. He liked whiskey, but wine was his thing. Wallace comes in and transforms the entire business at this point, because he wants to start pushing more single malts, which we'll get to in a second. And he was inducted into the Keepers of the Quake in 1989. That's an exclusive whiskey industry only society that you have to be nominated for entry into by having by having contributed significantly to the industry in some way. And he was elevated to Master of the Quake in 1999, which is essentially the higher position in the society. And this brings us to, what do I have over here? I was trying to build out another tab. I didn't. So I have a quote here from the New York Times in 1981, and this is Wallace. According to Mr. Milroy, the best thing in his shop at the moment is Macallan 1964, which was bottled this year after 17 years of aging at $24 for a 75 centiliter bottle. Can you imagine paying $24 for a 17-year-old Macallan?
Oh, fabulous! Where do I sign up for that? Hey, we also got that Kettner's picture still on the screen, by the way, covering up here.
Oh, crap!
Covering up your stuff.
I didn't hit transition. That's why.
There you go.
What a mess. Sorry, folks. So, this brings us to the shop itself. Soho Wine Market, which became Milroy's of Soho, was opened in 1964. Originally, they only stocked four single malts:
Wow.
Glenfiddich, Glen Grant, Tomatin, and Glenlivet. That was it. Because
That's
frankly, that was all you could really get at the time. It
well,
was
yeah, that would make sense back then. That would make sense actually.
no back then it was all about the blends.
Yeah.
I'm just checking something. Wallace joins around 1970-72, originally operating a second location. And Wallace transforms the business because what Wallace does
Shit.
is he wants to bring more single malts. The only way you can do that is by getting the distillers and distributors to agree to supply them, which most at the time wouldn't. They were the exclusive privy of directors' boardrooms and you know those with the connections and means to acquire them. And so, what Wallace was able to do through schmoozing and wheeling and dealing was pressure companies like DCL, Distillers Company Limited, which would go on to be Diageo, to go, hey, because this store had this much leverage, so hey, we'd like to buy X amount of cases of your blended malts, but we want Y amount of your single malts. And they would be like, we don't sell those. He would say, okay, fine. If you're not going to sell me the single malts, I'm not going to buy the blends. And he was able to I don't want to say strong arm, but persuade them to play along.
Mm.
If you can imagine that, doing that today to Diageo, good luck.
They just won't sell you squat.
Um,
Ask,
now,
ask Compass
past,
Watch how that's working out.
yeah, that's a good example of a modern. I don't want to call them an independent bottler. I feel like that's kind of doing them a disservice.
Yeah.
But they I mean, I'm not saying you can't get Diageo to say anything, but in today you wouldn't be able to get Diageo to do as anything they don't want to do. They are the 1,000-pound gorilla.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to happen. They'll sell you what they want to sell you. Back then, he pulled that off because they weren't as big and because that store had that much muscle, that much buying muscle. So, Milroy's of Soho today. We're going to stop at this first point for a few minutes here because this is, to me, a big one. It's passed through several owners since then, including Mark Rainier, who is best known for having revived Bruichladdich and then opening Waterford. And then following him, Jeroboam's Wine Merchants. Now, Mark Rainier and the Milroys, this is a big one because if you've seen The Water of Life, you already know what I'm about to bring up. If you haven't, you might not. And I think this is important because it's sort of, illustrates their lasting legacy on the whiskey world. Without the Milroys, we don't have Bruichladdich as we know it today. Because, as the story goes, Mark Rainier entered into some giveaway, some door prize giveaway, and he won some package from Milroy's of Soho. So he went down to the store in Soho and met Wallace and John. And you have to understand, at this point, Mark is a wine drinker. He doesn't drink whiskey, doesn't really care for whiskey. He's a wine guy. He grew up in a family of wine drinkers. And so he goes down to the store, meets Wallace and John, and they have him sample all sorts of different whiskeys, most of which based on Mark's description must have been Isla's, because they were iodine and sooty and earthy. And one that absolutely floored him, because it had characteristics that he thought were very similar to wine, and it was a Bruichladdich. To the point that he actually took basically a pilgrimage out to Islay to the distillery to try and visit it. And if you've ever seen the Water of Life, was essentially told F off at the gates because this was 1990 something, and Bruichladdich was essentially mothballed by Beam, who owned it at the time, and that set him on the course to buy it from Beam, recruit Jim McEwen, and revive it and reopen it. So without the Milroys, we don't have Bruichladdich today. So everyone who loves the classic Laddie, Port Charlotte, Octomore, you owe them a debt of gratitude. Fast forwarding, it gets sold again to Jeroboam's, and they own it until about 2015. And they sell it to a gentleman named Martin Simpson. I know that's Simo or Simo is his nickname. And Martin wanted to buy it because Jeroboam's was kind of turning it into more of a wine market than a whiskey market. It was losing what
Mm.
one might consider its character and its history. And so he was able to get investors and buy it from them. This will come back down in a few bullet points when it bites him in the butt, unfortunately. And in interviews, Martin noted that John Milroy actually maintained contact with him. He would send him letters. He sent him some of his memoirs from his time running the business. I think I actually need to go back a tab. I missed something.
Okay.
Do that though. Oh, we got to. Okay, yeah. So I missed this last bullet point down here. So John sold Milroy's in 1993, reportedly to help pay for a divorce he was going through at the time. He did stay on the run the store with the understanding that he would have the opportunity to buy it back, but this never happened. And according to Martin Simpson, the friend that John sold it to realized how much it was worth, how much money it made, and was
Mm.
unwilling to sell it back to John. And so John would stay for a couple of years and said, "Nah, I'm not interested in just running the store. I want to own it, so I'm out." You just bring this back to the next slide if it'll cooperate. Go. So, I was going to show you guys a picture. I got to go find it now. Shoot. No, I didn't. I say it. Where is it? Kind of a neat one, too. Except I don't see it. No. I'll show you guys that one later after we're done with the presentation because I have to open this one up and zoom in on it and everything. It's a photo of a framed memoir that John sent to Martin Simpson to hang on the wall at Milroy's with a little inset quote giving some context to the photo. But we'll get back to that. So in 2019, Simpson opened a second location in the Spitalfields area of London, which, complete with a members club and bar. And that ran well for a few years. They survived the pandemic, and
Mm.
this is where history becomes current day events. July 2023, literally as I'm starting to work on this, Martin Simpson departs Milroy's because he and the board of directors, if you can imagine a liquor store having a board of directors, although I guess Milroy's would be more than just a liquor store, that would be doing it a disservice.
Right.
Didn't agree on the future direction, and so he left. And then literally 2 weeks ago, they closed the Spitalfields location because the new management wants to focus on the original Soho location. They want to renovate and remodel it, and they want to revamp their e-commerce business because they realize that a lot of their business is overseas, and the way their business is set up right now doesn't really cater to that.
Interesting.
And that's Milroy's of Soho.
Okay.
So this is this is an example of some of the deals that John and Wallace would make happen. So this was in it says 1980. I think it was actually 1987. Based on everything else I've read, he and John are visiting the I believe it was Balvini's and Glenlivet warehouse with Peter Grant Gordon, who was, I think, one of the directors or the master distiller at the time. And they're walking through the warehouse, and they see these 4 barrels in the corner of the warehouse, covered in dust and cobwebs, basically forgotten, abandoned. And they ask him, "Hey, what are those?" And like, "Oh, that's a 50-year-old Balvini."
Wow. It's crazy.
And they immediately ask, "We want that. Can we buy that?" And Peter Grant Gordon is like, "Sure, work out a price." And so they bought 360 bottles at 150 pounds each,
Jeez.
and sold them on to the Japanese consortium for 360 pounds a bottle. and arranged its all expenses 30-day 7-city lecture tour, addressing groups of 250 bar and hotel staff on the back of the deal. After each presentation, all the business cards left behind on the seats were collected by Jack, and a winner was drawn, who then received a bottle of the 50-year-old, by then marked up to £1,000. And now, and I don't remember what this was from because I've seen higher figures. That bottle today sells for tens of thousands of pounds or dollars.
Oh,
You're talking
bro.
almost 50,000 pounds. It is an incredibly valuable bottle. And that's just one example of the things that they were able to source and sell either to their private contacts or through their store. There's a reason this store has lasted so many decades, because it was the mecca for whiskey drinkers for a long time. And in a lot of ways, it still is. We're going to come back to this. I think. Now, before we do that, our second guest has arrived. So we're going to bring Ben in. Hello. I'm going to stop sharing the presentation for a second. I want to
Hey, Ben.
What's going on? I apparently have completely misplaced and/or lost one of the 3 bottles.
No.
It happens.
It's here, but I won't be drinking on it this evening.
I got a bottle of Macallan 18 I can't find that I haven't seen in 5 years somewhere here, too.
Geez.
So I feel you.
Oh, that's why.
Well, it's the only one of the 3 I can still acquire.
Well, that blows, too.
Oh, that's why that.
The other 2 are gone.
Someone found your honey hole? Boo.
Well, that's what happens when I'll text you.
Okay. Because that seems like a really shitty thing to happen.
The chat real quick. Why am I like this? Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to. The way I'm making the green screen work is throwing a few curveballs that I wasn't expecting. So, why is that? Oh. Why did I do that? That was dumb. So let me go through the chat real quick now that I'm. So I did. Donald Rance. Yes, Bruichladdich was essentially dead then. It was mothballed by Beam, and they didn't know what to do with it. To answer your question, it was on the slides. John Milroy is still with us. He's in his mid-80s. And he is, as I understand it, from what I was able to find on the internet, he is no longer drink Scotch. So I would, we'll come back to that when we get to the whiskey, because as you can see over here, I've got the 3 Glenmasters bottles and our guest bottle, which when we get to that, we'll come back to John not drinking whiskey anymore. Okay. Wallace, unfortunately, passed away in 2016. He's no longer with us. But again, his legacy carries forward with everything he and John did. Give me abandoned barrels, yeah, right? Can you imagine that today? Can you imagine Balvenie just saying, "Yeah, we're gonna sell you 50-year-old barrels"? Are you kidding?
Yeah, not anymore. That's for sure. They just want to get rid of the damn things then.
I didn't even get to pour anything. I was so busy with this. So Will's going to be joining us in about 20 minutes. Now, I should explain why I picked these 3 guests. I picked Ben over here because I don't have these 3 bottles without Ben. Ben found, and I'll let Ben tell the story of how he found them. But he found these in some store on Long Island, some dusty pile of these things. Let me turn my camera off so that it unscrews the display. And then Ben, you're welcome to tell us how you found these bottles. Why is this like this? There you go. I'm here. My video is wonky because of how I did the screen share.
What's going on?
How I did that's how you do that.
Give me the abandoned barrels. Solid choice.
That's better. Why is it still being weird like that? I don't want it. What the? And didn't bring that back. That's weird. There we go. That's better. So Well, Ben prepares to tell us the story of how he found those bottles.
You want me to tell the story? I can tell
Yeah.
it. I didn't realize that's what you were waiting on.
I thought I'd feed you up. If I didn't, I apologize.
Many people know I do quite a little bit of whiskey hunting, and among my journeys, I found a what I would call an incredible museum. The store literally has a section of the store that is set up with showcases and an entire like maybe 50 by 50 square foot area of the place that is just glass cases of rare whiskey or allocated whiskeys. And you don't think you're going to find anything in that kind of store. And even on regular bottles, things in the store are 50% over MSRP minimum. Absolutely ridiculous. And I'm looking around and I see these purple boxes. And they just don't look like they belong. And I'm looking at them and I'm looking at them carefully and I start realizing they're 15 years old, 20 years old, just sitting on the shelf. So I start sending out some messages. Guys, you know anything about this stuff? And so begins the journey of me sending bottles of this, via hand delivery all over the country. And some stuff even internationally. Really not that exciting a story. Yeah, I can tell you that it's been cleared out, all except for one of the three bottles, thanks to some reviews being posted online. And yeah, so there is still the possibility of getting one of the three, and probably until this video airs.
Yeah. Well, so tell them when.
Now, at this point, I'll own my screw up because I think I was one of the first people Ben sent a picture to and asked about these things, and I was like, "What the hell are these?" And I googled it, and if you Google Glen Master, you will find this website, which, near as I can tell, did that work? What did it do? You guys see it? I don't know if that worked the way I wanted it to. I love OBS. Everything what you wanted to do. Yeah, that didn't work.
I guess so.
I think my guests can see the website and nobody else can see it, which was not what I was going for.
No, fabulous.
Over here. Let's do it this way. Put my camera back on. This website, which, near as I can tell, has nothing to do with the Glenmaster bottles that we have, and I don't think this whiskey even exists. I think this was somebody's like web design project.
Yeah, that looks fake.
Because half of the links just takes you back to the homepage,
Weird.
and some of them don't do anything. So I think this was somebody's web design project, and they just used the Glenmaster name. But this threw me off completely. I thought this was just some random bozo indie bottler, and I told Ben, you know what? I think it's some no-name bottler. I wouldn't bother with him. I'm glad he has some other people because I screwed the pooch. But it happens. Let me put my camera back on now. All right. So I'll pull the PowerPoint back up again because there is one other important thing Wallace did that we need to talk about, and I guess I'll do that before Will shows up, and we can look at some other stuff after Will gets here. But give me 1 second to fix my screen share. The beauties of the wonders of using Zoom for a green screen. So how did I do that? Oh, right. So if you go back to this, and I just hit the wrong button, don't look at those. Don't look at those.
Okay.
So the other big thing that Wallace Milroy did is he was one of the first to write, a guide to malt whiskey. His malt whiskey almanac predates. Uh, uh, it certainly predates Jim Murray's whiskey Bible. It predates Michael Jackson's malt whiskey guidebook. It was first printed in 1986. It was compiled from his notes and notes from tastings and distillery visits. There were 8 editions published between 1986 and 1988. As far as I can tell, actually, sorry, 7 editions published between 1986 and 1998. I might put 8 there. 7 editions, and it was succeeded linearly, for lack of a better term, by Whiskey in Your Pocket, which was a continuation by his editor Neil Wilson. And as far as I can tell, there have been 2 editions of that. And I would argue that spiritually, it was succeeded by Igmar Ron's Malt Whiskey Yearbook, a copy of which I'm giving away because it's very much in the same style and spirit.
Have you ever gotten a hold of these old 8 editions from 86 and 98 by chance?
I haven't, unfortunately. We are going to look at least one of them after the last guest joined us, because you can actually go to the Internet Archive.
Yeah.
And they have digitized versions of not all 7 editions, but
Yeah.
3 or 4 of them, including the oldest ones, and they are fantastic to flip through, if only for the pictures of the old labels that they put in the book.
Cool. Yeah. 'Cause I've got 1988 Michael Jackson version.
And these are the different versions. The 1986 and 87 editions, as far as I can tell, had the same cover, which is why there's only 6 pictures.
Cool.
And then below that, you have the 2 editions of Whiskey in Your Pocket. And these are fantastic books to flip through. Let me. Okay.
Special throw edition.
Like I said, and you can find used copies. They're around. I was going to try and source one for the stream, but I wasn't able to do it in time. But again, we have the digitized version that we're going to flip through after Will gets here in just under 10 minutes. So I guess now would be the appropriate time to ask, what's everybody got in their glass? Why is it still doing that? Oh, actually, speak of the devil.
He's there.
I didn't have pictures of that. No. I'm gonna add our third guest, then I'm gonna drop out and unscrew my camera. Ladies and gentlemen, our third guest from Women of Whiskies, he's one of the Mawows, Will Davlar.
Wow.
I didn't make that up.
How you guys doing?
Good. I'm just gonna drop out for a second so I can
Having a
unscrew
party.
my camera because.
What's up, Will?
All right. Trying to get all this stuff off my screen. How's the audio?
Oh, that's
perfect. Audio's fine. Okay, perfect.
Better than champs.
I don't have to drop out now. Get the hang of this. So now that Will's here, we'll transition over to the whiskey, and I have to lie, I cheated a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I actually poured a sample of the Longmorn because I had a sample left over from a blind fight that Will sent me, so I've been sipping on that.
Oh, okay.
But I have all the bottles poured.
Oh.
And right out of the gate, the first thing I'm going to point out about old whiskey bottles is, cork. This is not a happy cork.
Yeah, I had to change all mine out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went with
I'm going to have to change the Springbank and the Bemore. The Longmore is okay, but the Springbank and the Bemore I'm going to have to come out because they're clearly failing.
Yeah, they were kind of, you get into that age. So I was like, first thing I did. All right. So what I missed, actually, I had my grandkids over, so I was kind of hanging out with them, and
No worries. We went through the my presentation on the history of John and Wallace Milroy, the store,
okay,
Wallace's Wallace's Malt Whiskey Almanac,
okay,
um, and
No.
the impact that they continue to have on the whiskey industry even after they're both well done being involved with it. For example, Bruichladdich,
yeah,
which, as I pointed out, we don't have Bruichladdich as it is today without them, because it was Mark Rainier visiting them and getting to try an older bottle of Bruichladdich that sent him down the rabbit hole that brought him to reviving it and bringing in Jim McEwen. That doesn't happen, no Bruichladdich. For all we know, Bean would have ended up just dismantled.
yeah.
What a crime.
It's pretty amazing stuff. And how did you go over how Ben stumbled across all this and everything? And
We did.
okay,
Ben talked about that. Where's this?
Yeah.
Oh, I know why.
And how Jim told me not to buy it.
Yeah, I own my
told
mistake.
you to buy it. So
Well, and who did I listen to?
yeah.
Hey,
With the correct decision.
You were with
I
your
own my
girl
mistake.
going through the store.
Weird.
I remember that's how I think if I remember this correctly, Ben.
Hang on.
And I was like, "What's that?" And you were and we were both looking at it. And I'm like, "That's a Springbank." And it was in the purple box, and I was like, I had never seen a Springbank 11. So then from there, it kind of Ben went down that rabbit hole, and I went with him on that. And I mean, I was just floored with the pricing on these two, and
Great price.
for Springbank, just let alone the Bemore and and the Longmore, like being, I think it was like, I don't know, 70, $80, something like that. And Springbank now is
70,
Canada's like
90,
100
yes.
to 120. So I was like, yeah. So this is, and then just finding out the history of all this was pretty amazing. So I'll have to rewatch it later. So, all right, what are we pouring first?
I guess he said the
Well,
long
I
one.
can't find my Longmorn. It's here somewhere.
I know.
And
you-
as I was telling them, that's the only one I can still acquire because somebody cleared out all the others.
That was not me, Dustin. All right, so all right, I'll start pouring these.
I actually started with a sample of the Galdrons that I got from this gorgeous gentleman right here.
Nice.
This Springbank, man, I love it.
Well, savor it.
Right.
Oh,
That's the law anymore.
Hide it from Kathy Joe.
I'll go for the Springbank since you did.
If we're going
And-
Springbank.
To be clear, I've tried the Longmorn. I haven't tried. I just opened these today and poured out samples. Try them. I have not opened either of those other two bottles, so I'm really looking forward to this.
Wow.
Okay.
I figured you had open a long time ago.
Wait, you've never had the Springbank yet?
Holy crap.
Oh my gosh! Oh,
I was waiting for the right time to open them, and I have had this idea.
So
I've had this idea for a long time. I just had to actually put it into action and do the research and put it together. And the more I learned about them, the more that impetus built. Because the story is fascinating. I kind of feel like they've been forgotten a little bit, which is a
Yeah.
shame.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'd agree. And then you sent the.
If anybody
Morla.
doesn't know about
Oh,
Springbank,
wow.
it's a.
It's a terrible place. You want anything to do with it.
Correct.
I mean,
Yeah,
Matt would be a
Horrible.
Matt would be a much better, or Will would be much better for the history lesson on Campbelltown, but it is one of 3 distilleries in Campbelltown.
That is correct.
Yes. Yeah, they actually created.
niche
They only
solution.
had to make another one. I think the biggest thing is like it's been in the same family now for a couple hundred years, 200 years, something like that. Some would probably do better in the history on
And
it, but
and if you and the wild thing with Springbank is if you like Willet funk or turkey funk,
Yeah.
Springbank brings its own funk and Campbelltown in general brings its own funk to the game.
No doubt.
Yeah, because
I think for me, I really love one. I love the flavor. Like it's one of my favorite scotches, and it was as soon as I had it, it was one of those ones where I was like, "Wow, what is this?" This was about I think like 5-6 years ago, but to find out about the history and how they still bottle by hand. They're still putting labels on. I mean, they got their own vatting floors. I mean, and it's just and part of that reason was the the main family was like, we want to, there's generations of family members that have been working for us. We want to make sure we take care of the families in the town. If we did this, it would eradicate that. And that was kind of people, and they said people will pay. We'll take care of the, and I was like, man, now on top of it being like an integrity malt, you have exceptional people that are taking care of their community. So, I mean, I'm happy to pay for it.
By the way, Jim, we should showcase this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? I found these in the pandemic, probably around 01, I think.
Oh yeah, so I'll start with the Springbank. So if you actually,
I've got it right here, Jim.
yeah, let me highlight Ben.
Even though it seems to be coming in and out of focus, it was in focus. Here you go.
There it is. I see it.
Yeah. So these bottles were distilled in between 1990 and 1993.
Yeah.
And bottled in 2004. And Ben found them 18 years later?
Yeah.
17 years later?
Did you explain how you found, like, you just walked in and, found them, just a bunch of them?
I explained that it's in an absolute museum where everything, even standard bottles, are probably 50% over MSRP.
Yeah.
And then these are sitting in there.
Yeah. Wow.
Let me highlight Ben. Now, one of the really cool things about these Glen Master bottles is that they all have tasting notes from Wallace on them, both on the bottle and on the box. These lush purple boxes. So for the Springbank, just for an example, it says probably the most famous of the Campbelltown malts situated on the Mull of Kintyre. Now I don't know how many Campbelltown distilleries were around at the time that this was released. I kind of feel like there weren't that many at that point.
I mean, I know they had to bring
two
on
distilleries with their own bottling line, and it's still family owned. I think to this day it is still family owned.
Yeah, it is.
This bottle has a unique aroma of sea and fruit with a positive, rich aroma and an assertive sweetness. Well balanced, elegant with a full flavor. A much dependable classic for the malt lover and a super complimentary after dinner drink. If you start thumbing through the
let's be honest.
If you start thumbing through the Malt Whiskey Almanac, you'll see the phrase after dinner drink appear quite regularly. Seem to be one of Wallace's favorites.
But this being a single barrel, Matt, I imagine you can probably shed some light too. This differs a lot. There's certain characteristics that differ a lot from regular Springbank 10.
Yeah, versus single cask, but then the fact that distillers were just run different back then. Everything was dirtier.
Yeah,
true. And there's just funky shit you stuck in the back, and nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit about Springbank in 1993. Let alone knew it even existed.
Right.
Most people didn't know Springbank existed probably really and truly 2 or 3 years ago. And that was a mistake we all made that let people know about that.
We sung their praises too much to the community.
So I decided other distilleries, I'm no longer speaking about them. We just don't talk about those distilleries.
It's too late.
It's too late for one on that one. Yeah, but there's other ones that I just don't speak about.
Yeah.
That
Springbank is so good.
But yeah,
for me, there's
old, no name, nobody cares about. And especially, nobody's really drinking Scotch in 1993 besides blends anyway.
Yeah.
The fact that the single was even being put out that somehow ended up in the United States at that is just bizarre.
Well, I think that's what's so crazy about it is the fact that this was a barrel pick.
It's like
from the early aughts, you're like, that's so. I remember when I first got this from Ben, I was like, that is so weird. The idea that 20 years ago, someone's like, I want to get a barrel.
Do barrel picks. That was barely even a thing.
Right.
It's like, what? You want to do what? Why would you want that? Yeah, it's just one of those weird conundrums, but we thank them for doing it because now we get to appreciate and drink it.
Well, and Fast said the difference will be the barley variety from 20 years ago.
That's true too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
What am I going to say?
30 years ago.
But I have a sample
30 years ago,
Springbank 10 here, and I feel like if I poured the Springbank 10 and do this side to side with the 14, the general flavor profile hasn't changed that much.
I think for me, the 11 definitely has a more fruit note to it. Just it's fruitier. Mine's
more apple.
What was that?
It's definitely fruity.
I get a lot of apple on it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy because it's for the Springbank, you kind of get a little bit of that, but like that's really for me like a fruit forward on it with the flunk on it, and it has rounded out over. You know what I mean? So, but it's delicious.
Yeah. Now, something that and I might be mistaken on the Glen Master bottles, but I don't think I am. If I'm wrong, strike me dead. I'm pretty sure that these are all non-chill filtered and non-colored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they are.
Which, for something that's bottled at 46%, that's kind of a rarity.
Right.
Which leads us to the mystery guest. Now, I meant to mention this at the beginning of this stream because one of my guests asked me this. To be clear, I don't work for Berry Brothers and Rudd. I don't work for Millworks of Soho. I'm in no way sponsored or representing them. I just think it's a fascinating story and really good whiskey. But I decided to add something to this group, so I picked up this. This is a John Milroy selection, 10-year-old Mortlock.
Yes.
Non-chill filtered.
Sample you sent us.
Non-colored. It was distilled in 2006, bottled in 2016. Barreled in a
Did you
refill
order that
hog
online, Jim, or you found it near you?
There's one store I can find in Massachusetts that has these John Milroy bottlings. Unfortunately, the other ones I'm not likely to buy because this one cost me $100. The other 4 bottles he's got are $200 a piece, which is a little bit pricey. Especially
What are they?
You never know. Bottle splits can happen. I'm just saying. Jim, I'm just saying, bottle splits can happen.
Yeah. What are they? We would be interested to find these things out.
Maybe we should talk about it off air because last time somebody talked about these.
We'll talk about it off air because I got to pull up the website and know what they are. But now I haven't tried this one either. I opened this one. I poured you guys your samples. But the first pour I poured off into a sample bottle and sealed it, and I poured it out into a glass tonight.
Well,
I wanted to
Jim,
try it for the first time at the same time. I didn't want to cheat you guys.
So, did you taste the Springbank now?
I've tasted the Springbank.
What do you think?
It's excellent. It's awesome. It has a richness to it that you don't often find in something bottled at 46%.
Yeah, there's way more fruit and way less ash on the old one than there's compared to this black label tan.
Well, Sugar Cutie was saying like you don't get apple. I would agree. I've had lots of different Springbanks. This one is different. There's a more of a fruit notes in general. But I don't know. I mean, it is with this one. But yeah, it's not something you find in Springbanks.
How many of us have ever had a single cask Springbank? Besides this.
This is it.
Matt's probably got 4 or 5.
I don't think so, but I don't know. That's a look.
Yeah, I mean a barrel pick Springbank. I mean,
yeah.
They're out there.
Sure, independent bottlings. Other independent bottlings of Springbank must have been done over the years.
They're very rare.
They are rare.
I've never really come upon one. This is I think it's my only one that's independent bottler.
The dumb thing I did, I screwed up 2 things. One, I didn't buy all they had. And 2, I sent it to all of you guys. So
yeah,
I don't think that was a screw up at all.
We appreciate it.
I know that.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, I very much.
I actually have one bottle that's still got to go to Canada one of these days.
That Bamore is fantastic.
Mr. Rance.
Wow.
Well,
that's
for
how
Mr.
Bamore should
Rance's
be.
Grandma. But he needs to get it from me while she's still here to drink it.
Valid.
Not the crap they're putting out today with that horrible metallic tang on the finish. That is fantastic. Wow.
What did you just try?
The Bamore. I'm going to be savoring that bottle. Wow.
Oh, yeah. The Bamore is I mean, that's...
Well, the thing to say is, with the dates on the Bamore, it's actually distilled by Jim McEwen.
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, it was actually distilled when Jim McEwen was still working at Bamore as a master distiller. So, further credit to his legacy. Now, I can't really show this up properly because of the way I set my camera up, but if someone else who's a closer camera wants to hold their line up to the camera, if you look at this Mortlock, and I've seen comments about this online about these John Milroy bottlings that they're either done in very old casks or casks that are virtually dead to the world because there's so little barrel impact on that. It's like a gentle hay color. There's almost nothing. Almost nothing came over from the barrel, it would seem.
They got it from Canada. That's where they really got it from. Why is
It's
that color?
One more
bottled at
tang. Oh, boy.
6.7.
We'll let that sit in the glass for a
I'm
little
dying to
bit.
try.
With the spring
Try
bank.
this.
What's your giveaway tonight, Jim?
The giveaway is a sample of each of the 4 bottles here,
Oh, nice.
and a copy of the 2023 Malt Whiskey Yearbook,
Oh, great.
which I was given as a gift specifically to give away.
And if you haven't had one of those books, those are great. I haven't got this year.
They are.
They're really. I have like the last 8 or 9 of them. So that's great. Well, I'll toss one in too, man. If that's the case, I'll toss in another sample pack. Kind of share this, you know. You'll get another one in this. You can do another one.
Did you get that? I've got Whiskey Mountain just tracking for me, so she's got to jump on that for me. And keep
I
track
think
of
this
that.
stuff should
I
be
would offer
really
up
shared.
one also, but I.
Hey, you got these first, Ben. You did.
Well, no, it's not that. I have to find. I have my Longmorn is currently MIA.
Hey, I got an extra one, man. I can help you out.
No, I can actually still go get them. That's
True. That's true. Yeah, I'll be honest. We'll get into the Longmorn later, but yeah. Which one are we trying next?
I kind of heavy poured the Springbank because it's been so long since
I'm
I
coming
had
back.
it.
I did it light because I want to finish. Even though I'm going to the Bamor, is like it's going to be a little bit more of a shot.
So which one are you on, Jim?
At the
Yeah, I'll
I've
cap
been
it.
hopping around. At the moment, I have the Mortlock at hand. I haven't sipped it yet, though. So I'm trying to pull.
Yeah.
All right,
something.
let's pour the Mortlock. Let's pour the John Milroy.
All right.
Now, something that I need to point out here is that again, I researched this as much as I could, found as much as I could. Supposedly, John isn't drinking whiskey anymore, so I don't know how much involvement he had in these actual picks. What I do know is that the guy at Berg Brothers and Rudd, who is the director of their cask program, is a man named Doug McIver, and he got his start in the early '90s at Milroy's under John and Wallace. So if anybody knows what they would pick, it would be him. So as long as he's there, they're probably going to be good. Once he leaves, that being said, I almost think they've already discontinued this line because I can't find anything bottled after 2019. So
yeah, I was going to say he might have been involved back when this was bottled. This was bottled in 2016.
Didn't John pass just recently? Like last couple of years?
John is still with us. He's in his mid-80s. Wallace passed in 2016.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Wallace passed.
Sadly, because Wallace
was
the
more
whiskey
in the whiskey. John was more into the wine.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct.
I had to think about it for a second. Yeah.
Wallace was to use British parlance, the whiskey anorak.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Where was I? So, no.
I have to pour a little bit of that.
Well, apparently in Greece you can get a John Milroy Selection 24-year Macallan. It's only $2,100.
Oh, joy! Get right on that.
Jeez.
Oh, I found the store that has the other John Milroys. Okay.
Hey, David. Hey, James Morgan. Richie Z.
Hey Ben, do you ever see Scott's Selection in your journeys?
Scotch Selection.
It's another independent bottler that's out of business.
I need some pictures.
Whoa.
Okay, I'll send some pictures. I might be looking for some things.
Yeah, I should go to I'll go to the Longmorn or the Mortlock. Actually, I'll go to the Mortlock right now. That's so crazy, that color. Like a pale straw kind of thing going on. Natural, that's great.
10 years old.
115.4 or no, 113.4. Yeah, okay.
I mean, it almost looks like water. Like like a highlighter in it when you try to have fake booze. And
I've actually never had a Mortlock before. So
really, oh
yeah. So what's the deal with
what part of
myself? 2.81 times the.
What part of Scotland are they?
Shoot.
Northeastern Space Side.
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, I got straight up then.
Peated or not peated? I'm not picking up peated.
Not peated.
No, it's not peated. It's just super meaty.
Yeah. The only other Mortlock I've had was a sample an independent bottling that I got from Ed O'Meara over at the Rocket Review. And that was another one of those samples where the first half of it, I was like, what the hell is this? And I got irritated and put it aside because I didn't understand what the hell I was drinking. And I didn't appreciate it. And I came back to it like 2 years later, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. This is fantastic. I want more, and I can't get it.
So, Mortlack is kind of
I'm going on mute for a second.
Okay. So I'm looking it up because I didn't know much about Mortlack. They call it the Beast of Dovetown.
Yeah.
Hell's from the Dark Side of Speyside. I like their marketing. They should really
Yeah,
like out there more.
But we don't talk about Mortlack because it'll become like Springbank and disappear. So we don't talk about this.
Yeah, this is horrible
Doesn't
stuff
exist.
on the nose. Yeah, I'd agree.
No, sure, kitty.
Actually, that Game of Thrones one actually wasn't bad. Of that one, sure. I got a couple of those actually. I bought. I was
I
pretty
think they
happy
were
with
decent,
that.
actually. Some of them were fine.
Yeah, no, none of them were bad whiskeys. It's just none of them were like amazing, except for that Lagavulin 9 and the Mortlock 15 were both really good. I liked, but especially some will get them for clearance prices. Like then you got to steal. I
There's
did not get them for
almost-
clearance. I paid full price. It sucked.
There's a little bit, and I don't know, maybe there's like, it's very light, but I almost get like a little bit of a sulfur note or some type of mineral.
Yeah, there's a little bit
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah, on that. It's not off-putting by no means. Kind of reminds me of like you kind of sometimes see it in certain Craig Alekies. So
Yeah, that's like
Yeah.
a meaty worm tub thing.
yeah,
Not
maybe
disappointed.
that is that what it is? Because I'm like I don't know what it is, but like I get it on this as well.
It's beautiful.
It's yeah. I mean, it's not. It's just I was kind of with the lightness of this. I was kind of the peppery notes and everything. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a buddy just brought back a travel retail of I think the 14 years. I think it's 14 year. I'm pretty sure of the malt. That was really good.
Wow.
I love the note of this. You're right.
Now, we were talking about the
That
malt
does
whiskey.
not suck.
No, it
it's
doesn't.
good shit.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
great.
Can find a lot of independent bottlers of Mortlack. Thank God, and for very
Like I said,
reasonable prices.
I'm not disappointed I spent the $100 on this. The other bottles I don't know that I want to drop 2 bills on them, but we can talk about that after we're off the live.
Yes.
What they are, because I don't remember them off the top of my head.
Yeah, depends what they are.
That being
Yeah,
said,
Sugar Kitty, that's a great deal for $24.95 for the Game of Thrones.
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
See
I
exactly.
mean,
$25 all day. Take
all day,
of them.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
They
I got-
still have been clearing some here. They're still full price here. It's weird.
They're full price here too.
And they've been sitting for what, years now? No one's got rid of them. I'm like,
Years.
my favorite
Well,
was
like some
I see 'em
places
full
will
price,
say
I see 'em marked
10% off. Like
they
It's
had
like-
the White Walker
fucking white wine.
overpriced at $57. I'm like, you're never ever getting rid of that bottle ever.
It's going to be there forever.
They couldn't sell them at $19, which makes you
Oh.
think you're going to sell it at $57.
All right. Actually, since I was gonna end the giveaway at 8:30 because I had someone else tracking, but since I have Whiskey Mountains tracking, we'll go until 8:45. So you got about a half an hour left to
Okay.
debate if you want to get your entries in.
Yeah.
That
And
being
then,
said,
just for new people that showed up, you have the Almanac you're doing, plus a sample of tonight. And then I'm going to put in another sample of the 3 I have. I don't have the Mortlack, but I'll toss something good in with it. So, but the Longmore, the Bamore, and the Springbank I got. So,
awesome.
so sample sets of
Sample
old
sets.
scotches that we're talking about tonight.
That being said, we were talking about the Malt Whiskey Almanac, and as I said, if you go to the Internet Archive, and you do have to create a free account to do this, they have, I think, 3 or 4 editions up there digitized that you can loan. They got on loan for an hour and flip through. And I've pulled out one of them, and I'm going to screen share it, and we'll flip through it a little bit, so you can see. And if you're familiar with the Malt Whiskey yearbook at all, you'll see the similarities almost immediately.
yeah.
Give me just one moment here.
Yeah, that Mortlack, that's horrible stuff. Don't
Yeah,
get
no.
it. Don't buy that. We've learned our lesson from Springbank. Thank you.
Exactly.
All right, I'll probably hit the Longmore in a minute too. Check that out.
So this is the
Nice.
I think it's either the 1986 or the 1987 version. That's showing up. No, it's not. Oh, you know, I don't like. Whoops. Okay, that was full screen. So that's the cover. Sorry. And author page, so on and so forth. Contents. And you start flipping through these. They, the label pictures. And I wish I could zoom in on this more. Like, look at these labels. Like,
You're
some
right.
of these-
This
like
is
that.
verbatim
It doesn't
the Michael
exist
Jackson
anymore.
book. It's hilarious. It's exactly the same. I love
Look at
it.
that. That's back when Inchmirren was its own separate brand before Loch Lomond pulled it back under its own umbrella.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's very
Old
cool.
Glenfarclas label.
Yeah, that's how I hunt old bottles. Is I use those old Jim Murray books to find stuff.
Huh.
And that's how I found the stories I couldn't find and knew nothing about. His books would have them in there, and that's you get some of those independent bottlers of like burned to the ground or closed or demolished distilleries. So you get their malts. Was going through those books.
But again, I mean, if we look at the tasting notes for the Balvenie, shows excellent, well-pronounced aroma. Taste, big, distinctive flavor with a sweet aftertaste. Comments, a connoisseur's malt for after dinner. See? And Lee Glenfiddich, he says, if you have never tasted the malt, start with this one. He's not wrong, even today. It's usually a good starting point. But it's neat to go through and find some of the ones that don't exist anymore that existed 25, 35 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously, not all of them have label pictures. Like, here's four of them that don't have label pictures. I think Banff is no longer in existence.
Yeah, Banff's gone.
The other three, I think, are still around. Now, interestingly, Benromic's an interesting one. I didn't, and I might open the later one, because if you look at this edition, Benromic is okay. See page 94. So this is back when Benromic was mothballed.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to the 1998 edition, and he mentions that it was in the process of being reopened because Gordon MacPhails had bought it and reopened it.
Mm-hmm.
Wadnick, Blair Athol. Look at that Cardew label. That's cool.
That's styling.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the old labels. God, they were so bad. Their marketing department sucked in general. For all these ones, they're like, "Oh, let's put a really shitty label on it. It look old. People should buy it," and then it sits there forever.
Yep.
Now, here are Wallace's notes for Kalila in 1986, 87. No, it's light, fresh with a trace of peat. Taste, not a heavy Isla, but has pleasing weight and a fairly round flavor. Finishes
Very
smoothly.
condensed notes.
Popular pre-dinner dram.
Dinner drink. Oh, they're gonna fuck your dinner up.
Readily available from the independent bottlers. See page 94.
That's funny.
And apparently, this drawing down here is Talisker. According to the note down, it says Talisker Distillery. See page 46.
Oh,
Wow, that's a pretty cool drawing.
cool. Wow.
Old Klein Leach label. Colburn, they don't exist anymore.
Nope. gone.
Carnival Mort, they don't exist anymore.
Nope.
Colbert, I'm not familiar with. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they closed in the 80s. I had to look down. I'm like, who the hell was Colburn? Like,
Dragon Lord,
Yeah, a ton closed in '83.
Dallas Dew is gone.
Yep.
Dallas, yeah, they're gone.
Now, I love this Stufftown label because this harkens back to a time when everyone was still appending Glenlivet to their name if they were in that region because it gave you credibility. Eventually, everyone stopped that. I don't know if because it fell out of favor or because Glenlivet sued everybody.
Or because they got sued.
Glenlivet,
There's
They all
400.
got sued.
story.
And that's why it's now the Glenlivet because of that.
Okay. So at the time, Kalila was not a bottle they released regularly. It was highly sought after. That makes more sense.
I mean, in all reality, Kahlua still isn't all that
Yes,
released.
I've
It's
never
still
had it.
95% blends.
Yeah.
We're just the ones that look for it. I don't know that one. Glen Ask? I haven't even heard of that one.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it either. That's another one that's closed.
Glenkinchie,
And I think Glenalachi's closed too. Glen
Yeah,
Kinchy's
that's
still
cool.
around. You can still buy Glen Kinchy.
Glenkinchie's still around. I have a couple.
Glen
What
Alachi,
about Glen Butt
Glen
stuff?
Moore. Now, here's the music one, because I'm pretty sure Glen Ord is still around today. It's called Glen Ord now. I think.
I don't know. It's a good question. It could be.
And I think it's part of the Singleton.
Yes, it is.
That Glengarry Royal, there's a long dead distillery with.
Probably Ocean Whiskey Mountains. Worst marketing strategy. Oh my gosh.
Something that has a factory on it.
Not to mention that I'm not a big fan of
Awesome.
double ones. There's only a few things I like.
It has a factory on it. Who the hell?
As the Jew on stream, I can see that.
I'm trying to think of who she's talking about.
No,
Altmore or
No,
Auchentoshan.
no, that's
Auchentoshan, yeah.
Auchentoshan. Auchentoshan, yeah.
I like Auchentoshan. It's good shit.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of
Yeah,
Auchentoshan.
I'm not a big fan, but maybe I just had a couple of wrong pours. I don't know.
I like the
Yeah,
triple wood a lot. But I also like independent bottles Auchentoshan I've had are fabulous.
Yeah, see, I've had that a few times.
Sour.
Yeah, Auchentoshan, yeah. I assume that's what you
Linkwood.
Adriana.
And again with Linkwood, this is an example of how times have changed. Because if I'm not mistaken, looking at this is when you could buy Linkwood. Like it had its own distillery releases.
Yeah.
They don't have them anymore. You either have to get them for a bottle, or you have to get independent bottling.
Right.
There are no Linkwood distillery bottlings. There
Correct.
haven't been for years. And musically, if you look at the Lock and Horn label, wow. Oh, that's changed.
It's funny.
And this is Lochnagar before they were Royal Lochnagar. Before they got the Royal warrant, I guess.
That's weird, because they've been Royal Lochnagar since the 1800s.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh. It's just listed here as Lochnagar. And it doesn't.
They don't have it on there, which is interesting.
I'm guessing that tiny text up at the top that I can't read.
Maybe. Or maybe they just didn't give a shit that much.
There it is. Yeah, it's down at the bottom. I see it now.
Okay.
By appointment to the late Queen Victoria, the late King Edward VI, and the late King George V.
Yeah.
So it's on there. It's just they just put it in tiny text at the bottom like they don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's nice. Everybody else and their brothers got one of these Royal Warrant. Who cares? Oh, that open label. That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
look at that open label. That's cool as hell. This is a neat little diamond-shaped label.
That's kind of a cool label, though. That's funny. Okay, don't you love it how they're called unblended malts? Before they weren't called single malts at the time, they're unblended malts.
Yeah, unblended.
Yeah. Versus that, because no one cared at the time.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim, wasn't there anything else you wanted to get into?
I'm trying to think. Was there?
I thought there was something else.
I mean, you didn't get into the Glen Master brand at all? Did you have anything on that?
I didn't really find anything on the brand itself. I did want to share something else. Where did my TV just shut off? To explain that comment, I have a TV plugged into the laptop, and I have chat and the dock that I use to control the streaming software on the TV, and all of a sudden it decided it didn't want to be on it.
Yeah, Sugar Kitty Glenkinchie is one of the classic malts. It'll never go away. I think there's like 5 or 6, like Dalwhinnie and Cragganmore and Talisker and a couple other ones. But yeah, they're never going away. Yeah.
Nope. They've been that way since the 80s.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a done deal.
Let me stop sharing this. And actually, I do have another photo slideshow I want to pull up. Thank you for jogging my memory, Ben.
You're welcome.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell's going on here.
I'm just sitting here drinking Milroy whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And liking it. Why is that still...
I mean, I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, really?
No.
I'm sorry I sent you the sample then.
No, it's cool. Somewhere. Well, if you need backups of that one, let me know sooner than later.
Someone's going to wipe all those out as well.
So I need to know. I'm just saying. Sooner than later, I need to know.
Yeah.
If
So
you need it.
I have a slideshow of pictures of a bunch of different bottles that they've independently released, different brands. And some of them are pretty good. Like the one we're going to start with, Frisky Whiskey.
Holy crap.
I need that.
I would buy
That's
that.
amazing.
Me too. It's like
I would buy
That-
that.
you have to
see
be
me find that
really
bottle.
confident
That's
in what you're.
hilarious.
You got to be really confident in what you're picking and releasing to put your freaking face on the box.
Holy shit!
And it's literally called
Wow.
Frisky Whiskey.
We need that in our life.
What did you see what that bottle's going for these days?
I'm sure it's something absurd.
I haven't, no, but I'm there. I know that there's,
Then again, that guy's so creepy. Who
there's
knows?
several. He's not creepy.
It's a
looks
creepy
hot.
look. He's holding this thing. He's like, it's like, he's got this little thing in his hand. He's like a
What is he
fucking
holding in his
shower
hand?
in the fucking corner. It's a creepy ass looking fucker.
Now,
He's very content.
what I was going to say was this isn't the only example of a Frisky Whiskey out there. There were a whole bunch of them. There was even one that I think might be the next photo.
Is that his foot on a chair?
Ron, I would agree. This is the ultimate for a bottle share. Just put it in like pours or something, and leave it on the table and watch
That's
it.
hilarious.
People
Was
were like,
that the
what the hell is
backside?
that?
It's got a fucking key on it. That's great.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny as shit. Now that's a cool label.
Yeah. So this one
That's
has me
cool.
scratching my head because this is apparently a blended, according to the auction website that I got the photo from. It's a blended whiskey that's bottled at 60%. How the hell
Holy
does that happen?
shit.
Holy crap,
We
really?
should definitely get that. A Macho 60.
Produced and bottled by
Yeah,
John.
I love that label. That's just
That would be worth it. That's cool.
Wow.
Oh, and that too.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
I need this. Yeah.
It comes with a lock and key.
Yeah, just in case. You don't want to get too frisky with the whiskey. Got it.
That's really funny.
Okay, what else we got? Let me fix the view here.
All right, 15 more minutes till the giveaway.
Yep, thank you. You haven't got your entries in, get them in. You got 15 minutes.
Oh, John, I agree. I mean, they definitely were ahead of their time when it comes to making flavors for the barrels.
You know what that reminds me of? The old Glen Moray bottles too had like all the different regiments on them with the different
Yes.
stuff. So
No,
very-
here's the thing, though. They're roughly 120 proof. I mean, that's
Never Benny Hill skit.
Damn.
Yeah,
Crazy.
these are the OG tater stickers.
yes.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, that's one of the
Without them knowing they were going to be tater stickers, So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
love
that's
it.
one of the points.
caution sign at the top there is great.
Yeah.
That's one of
They
the
were
points.
basically like, we found such good whiskey, we're gonna mess with people.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
are
what
they
can we
still
do not
for
to sell this?
sale? I mean, that's a Highland
Yeah.
Park.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
it's
one of
Highland
the,
Park, right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, one of the points I was going to make is that Milroy's of Soho kind of pioneered the concept of the store pick in a way.
Yeah.
I know Berry Brothers and Rudd was around at that point,
Mhm.
but I think they've always been more wine than whiskey. Certainly today, they're leaning more heavily into their wine business.
Yeah, they didn't even do whiskey until the Prohibition when they wanted it with Cutty Sark, when they wanted to get in because the Irish got out and they figured they could
Yeah.
make money.
They could get into Yep.
I would argue that all of these barrel picks that we have today, all these bourbon picks, rye picks, all this stuff, you can trace that back to these guys.
Could be.
So,
Any idea what year these bottles are, Jim?
the Linkwood was
Like
from
80s.
the 80s.
Yeah.
80s, okay.
This is a Highland Park. I think this is, I want to say early 2000s. This is an older
that's
John
good.
Milroy selection bottle. Still in 89 and bottled 97. So this is 97.
Okay.
Okay. Still kind of funny for 97, actually.
Lovely. I love it.
Trying to put it in perspective for the timeline,
It just says bottled Orkney Islands. It's like, gee,
Still,
that
who
narrows
was
it down.
drinking cast strength
What's anyone else
scotch
on the Orkney
30
Islands
years
in
ago?
97?
Still,
Really hiding that one.
18-year-old Highland Park,
That's nice.
cask strength.
Yes, please.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay.
What does this go for today is the real question.
I'm kind
Yeah,
of
I have
curious
no
what
idea. That I didn't look up. I'm sure you can
Well,
find a
well,
lot of these at auction.
Yeah.
God, they're ridiculous. They're great.
I'm guessing how much they go for. It depends on what's in the bottle. Like the liquid,
Yeah.
liquid probably goes for quite a bit. But I know there's other Frisky whiskey bottles out there that wasn't just the liquid, so you could probably find a more affordable one if you wanted one just to have.
So please take that chair from the guy. Nasty. Oh, good lord.
I like to end.
So this,
What did it say?
please take that chair from the.
I don't know. This one's not too bad.
Yeah, let me zoom in on this one. So this is the Milroy Brothers bottling. I believe this is an independent bottling. Now this one's clearly a little more recent because it's got that. Stop.
So I didn't know there was a Frisky Whiskey selection. This is part of that series, apparently.
Is it?
It says at the bottom, the Frisky Whiskey selection.
Oh,
I'm like, okay.
yeah. I mean, like I said, there were a whole bunch of bottlings under the Frisky Whiskey name. This is clearly a more sedate version of the labeling. Maybe they got them. Someone got the message.
one of these in my life.
John looks like a weirdo on the label. Stop doing that.
I just like to randomly put it up with the scotches and then go, what the? I'm like, yeah, here's my prize.
This can be very appealing. Like this antique mini Sporon worn on a lady's kilt belt, ornate with precious drops, which are symbolizing quality personified. Who puts that shit on a box today? Sporon. In Scotland. That's one way to spell the Gaelic spelling creature, sure.
And drop of the crater refers to it. Yeah, okay.
They spelled it phonetically because it's found.
I have never
drop
heard
the crater. That was a terrible Scottish accent, and I apologize to everyone in Scotland. Refers to a dram of whiskey, the national drink of Scotland. Scotch whiskey is famous for being the most popular brown spirit in the world.
That's awesome.
Oh, how times have changed. Yeah. I'm like,
Let's see what it says on the label.
Have you
Wallace
all
and
heard
John
of bourbon?
have spent their lives promoting malt whiskeys all over the world and now specialize in bottling rare and fine malts, as well as being life members of the Keepers of the Quake, a prestigious society established to promote Scotch whiskeys. They are both panelists to judging the International Wines and Spirits Competition Awards. There's something else they did. Keepers of Quality, P.O. Box 22533, London.
So do we know what kind of scotch this one even is?
Yeah,
that is a good question. It doesn't say. It might say on the back there or something, but it doesn't say
it's
what this is.
Frisky Whiskey, so whatever Frisky Whiskey was.
That's funny. It doesn't actually tell you what it is on the front of the box. It just says it's a Frisky Whiskey selection. I wonder if that means it's blended. And that's... Now we're back at the start. Hey, it's John. Apparently this is a famous saying of his. A whiskey icon wishes you good health and happy drams. Extra strong.
Extra strong.
Oh, that's extra strong.
That's not creepy. He's doing the Highland
Oh, there
Coast.
you go.
Cheers.
It's a 2012 bottling.
Mm-hmm.
What? Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
crazy. That was
me
set
for
out,
a loop.
Little over 10 years ago. They're like, yeah, this still works for marketing.
Yeah.
That absolutely threw me for a loop because I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, how old is this? I'm like, 2012? There's no fucking way. Who does a label like this in 2012?
But it says Speyside Highland Malt. Okay, so that's all we know.
Yep.
There can be lots of things.
That's a
Liquid.
Yeah. 20-year-old Linkwood.
Oh, it is Linkwood. Okay.
Wow,
It's a
Natural
1991 Linkwood.
55%.
and if you look at the side of the box,
Yeah, it says it right on it. If you look
they actually,
at
I'm gonna
Jim,
go up a
show
little
the
bit. They
bottle
actually
again.
talk about malt whiskey. It says to make malt whiskey, only 3 ingredients are required: barley, water, and yeast. After distillation, it has to mature for 3 years in oak or bourbon casks to legally become Scotch whiskey. Evaporation takes its toll at about 2% per year initially, which is called the angel share. It then becomes more palatable after 5 years, but can improve with age up to 50 and 60 years old.
So here's what's crazy is like, you look at the bottles that we have, right? And they got the little tartar and the medallion on it, the pattern, and I mean it's got a little tacky, but it has a nice, like, it looks good. And they left this style of bottle and box to go to this. Like, why? Why would you, like...
I got a good deal on it.
Yeah.
Well, the reason is that Wallace moved to New York.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mm.
Did
Well,
he?
that's the thing.
that's true.
Yeah, that's the thing. If you look at the back of those boxes, they say they
Yeah.
were imported
That's
to a
right.
town about 45 minutes from me.
Yeah. Well, didn't he
Yeah,
have like
I don't
right
think
on the
that
back.
Wallace moved to New York. I think that
See, Harbrew Imports Ltd.,
Yep.
Freeport,
Harbor.
New York.
yeah, that's not necessarily.
That's
It doesn't necessarily mean
and
Wallace
from
moved to
my
New York. That's just where the
understanding is
importer was.
Wallace came here and started Harbrew Imports was his company.
Yep.
And then when he passed away, things stopped getting imported, and that was the end of Glen Master. That's my
Well,
understanding.
Glen
That's
Master was his
actually what I
brand.
understood too, is how that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely marketed to his clientele with these bottles, and
Reminds
I mean,
me.
so
I think
So-
the Frisky Whiskey was a UK Scotland marketing.
Probably.
really they like that. That's the marketing over there. Got it. Okay. Okay. What do you
This
guys
here
want?
yeah, would look like cheap $10
He's
whiskey.
a Chapman killed.
Oh, jeez. I'm on
Now,
a long one. I love
Things
it.
that I apparently forgot to put in the slideshow because I'm an idiot.
Nobody's
So
arguing.
John sold off. He sold off his independent bottling brand, the John Milroy operation and branding, to Berry Brothers and Rudd in 2009.
Yep.
And they've continued on since then. And again, he stopped drinking scotch at some point after he
Just
turned
drinks
80,
wine.
so he may not be involved anymore.
Yeah.
But again, it doesn't look like they've bottled anything since 2019, so the range may be discontinued,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which would basically be the end. Which reminds me, I got another photo I got pulled. Would basically signal the end of any involvement that the Milroy's had in the industry at all, which is a shame, but not unexpected.
Yeah.
Let me go pull this photo up because
I'm gonna pour the more. That's a good time.
yeah, I'm going to go back to the Boomer too. Actually, I got two photos I got to pull up.
Actually, I haven't changed out the cork on this one. I need to do that.
Let me do it this way.
Other ones I have.
I'm gonna go to the Bowmore myself now.
Lazy.
But the Bowmore is peated, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's a sweet peat. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
gonna be.
Well, no, I pulled two Glens, one for peated and one for not.
Oh, okay.
So that just means I have to finish my Springbank.
There you
Oh
go.
no,
I'll be
the horror!
That's tough thing to have to do.
This is really like rich. I mean, you can see put it in your glass and move it around. You can see all the oils. It just kind of, I don't know. I feel like it sticks to the sides of the glass
I
on
mean, I'm
this one.
sorry I only sent you guys Scotch I could find under 100.
Actually,
Here comes the tang. Oh boy.
Imagine what these would have been worth if they actually realized what these were.
Yeah, I remember when you and I
Yeah.
talked about it because you were kind of. I said I don't understand. I really was having a hard time understanding the cost. I'm like, like Longmore 16. It's like, what is it now? A few $100? I mean, it's like,
Was
I'm
the
seeing
original
this, it's
price. I'm sure it was no 5.
yeah, it's crazy. Even Springbanks are 120, and I don't know what. I mean, Bowmores in general, they go for what 150 for like a 15 or something like that.
15's what, $75.
Can we just talk about the restaurant next door to the Soho Wine Market?
oh,
What does that say?
Gay
Oh,
Hussar.
lovely. That's
Yeah,
I don't.
so,
But of course, then this means
Hey, do you all want some Scotch?
Yeah. apparently, according to the Milroys themselves, that was known for being a very stuffed shirt kind of restaurant, boring
Oh,
restaurant.
they stuffed something in there.
Adriana,
Another shot of
the
Milroy's
Bowmore-
back in the day.
Bowmore is Scotch peated.
The whole wine market.
Slightly.
More modern shot of Milroy's. So this I have to zoom in on. So this is one of the things that John Milroy sent to Martin Simpson to hang on the wall.
You know,
This is a
that's
picture
the
that
thing
was
there.
taken for a magazine.
Wait a
And what
second.
the-
Did you just say Bart Simpson?
Martin Simpson.
Yeah,
And-
what he doesn't know is he was in that chair earlier shooting those photographs prior.
So
his legs up.
what this is, I think this was taken for either an ad or a magazine. It's a picture of Wallace and John behind a wall of 100 bottles of 50-year-old Balvenie, valued at £1,000 per bottle. And if you
nuts.
And what it says down here is the photographer panicked when we turned up with 100 bottles to build a wall of Balvenie years old, valued at £1,000 per bottle. He promptly phoned his insurance broker for a special cover.
Yeah, but
I love that. I mean, who does
What do
that?
you
Who
think
just shows
that?
up with
What do you
100
think
bottles
that's
of
worth
thousand
today?
pound per bottle whiskey? We're just gonna build a wall.
A wall of 50-year-old Balvenie. What do you think that's worth today?
it's like a beer freaking thing at the grocery store. They did with millions of dollars of whiskey. And it'll be fine.
Dustin.
They're complimentary. There you go.
And this is a bottle I forgot to add to the other slideshow. Let me fix the view. It's 8:44. You have 60 seconds left to get your entries in, and the entries will be closed, and we'll do the giveaway. This is another John Milroy bottling. It's the
That's a
dram with
late one. Is that 2018?
the dram with John Milroy. Let me zoom in on it again. I doubt it's 20. It might be 2018. Let me.
Bottle 20. Yeah, bottle 2018.
Distilled 2005, bottle 2018. I don't. I assume that
Where's
this
that
was.
from?
I'm assuming that this was something sold through
A
Mary Brothers and Rye.
secret Isla distillery.
Yeah, they don't tell you.
Wow.
From John Milroy selection, the whiskey find product of Scotland. One of only 120 bottles.
Oh, there's Dustin. Hey, bud.
Yep. And then
Springbanks.
the story I told earlier about that 50-year-old Balvenie. That's it.
Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
They'll sell for tens of thousands of dollars when they show up at auction.
I bet.
Well, yeah, John. I think that's one of the continuing themes with their bottlings is they didn't color or chill filter anything. They just picked the casks and bottled it.
Yep, they're done. Which is, it was crazy back then.
Link, what a few minutes ago. Pure malt.
Imagine when they
Malt
thieved
stuff, yeah.
that 50-year-old Balvenie and
Right?
tasted it and looked at each other.
What's left of it? Yeah,
Yeah, bottled 1987.
that's crazy.
Yep.
That wasn't that long ago.
No,
Distilled in 37. That's absurd.
Like I said, these are the casks that they found in the corner of the Balvenie warehouse, and they were like, "Oh
You
yeah,
want that shit? Here, just take it. It's fine.
let's work out a price." If you
That's
ask them
crazy.
that today, they'd laugh you out of the fucking building.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm sure that's yeah, but I'm sure that's in either your or Mike's budget, right, Dustin?
50 years old.
All right, it is 8:46. So we take this down, and then it's time to do our giveaway. We have two prizes on offer. The first one is a sample set from Will Davlar. Just to reiterate, what was your sample? Your prize that you?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a sample of tonight's flight, the Longmorn and the Springbank and the Moore, and then I'm going to toss in something.
You don't have
extra.
more luck. So there's that sample set, and then I offer it up. I should get myself back on screen. Give me a second.
The best.
I've been invisible for a while. Screen share. No.
Some great odds tonight. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm on my way. Give me a second. I'll be right back.
14 entries. Wow.
Matt, which one's your favorite, man?
Probably the Springbank, but I mean, I really like that Bemore too. But they're all
Yeah.
really freaking good. I mean,
They're really good. I mean, I'm partial
you're
to
splitting hairs.
Springbank. Yeah. So
I think we're all Campbelltown whores, aren't we?
yeah,
Pretty much.
Remember, it's all bad.
Okay.
That's right.
That's right.
Sucks. Don't want any of that shit.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Random piece of foam. So what Dustin's talking about is if you look in these Glen Master bottles, there's
And
absolutely
can we give a shout out to
no stuffing
Dustin
in these
for
bottles. It's just the
for
bottle.
telling the public
and a little-
that these bottles existed?
Yeah, thanks, Dustin.
You
My kid
suck.
just totally freaked out. And this little piece of foam that sits around the neck to hold the bottle in place.
It's pretty high.
And yes, thank you, Ben, for finding these and letting us all know they existed.
Yes, thanks.
It's funny. Mine doesn't have that.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of mine either.
All right, we got
I
foam.
might,
And
you know what it is?
Yep.
I might have pulled them when I
Too
collapsed them.
Oh,
Yeah.
you probably did. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
on
I
top of you
thought I
wrap-
put them, and the thing is, I probably put them in with the padding
Yep.
in the box, but you
And we
guys
just
probably
tossed it.
just chucked it.
Actually,
Yep.
I still
Oh,
have
yeah.
all the padding. I bet you it's in the box then.
I mean, I can't say they all had it, but some had it.
I'll
Like,
have to
I
look at the box.
realized these had been
Still have
sitting
it.
on the shelf for 15, 20 years.
Yeah, I was
People
more
had looked in the boxes. You know?
correct. That's what I was thinking. Like, and 2 decades.
I did what I could.
Yeah,
We
Dustin
appreciate
and
it.
Squill.
You're right,
That's
right.
right.
The fact that I got those hand delivered all over this wonderful world and got them
Yes,
there
We had a
without
long road trip.
without leaking,
Yeah.
without any leakage.
This is amazing when you think about it.
All right, so since Ben found the bottles, Ben can pick the first number. We'll leave away Will's sample set first.
Okay.
Okay,
Why is my key?
that's got to be number 14 because that's my birthday.
All right.
All right, Adriana, you heard the man.
The last
Dustin's
one.
wheel. That's nice.
No, the spray.
Oh. Oh, yeah, it's rigged. Person who just won.
It is
Shut up.
totally rigged if Mike won.
Congratulations, Mike.
Mike's
All right,
gonna
Mike.
hate these.
Yeah,
And-
probably so.
Mike, you won the sample pack from me, so
Can you make the fourth bottle pee then?
He can make
So
that
it'll
happen.
be a special bottling right there. Yeah.
I'm thinking we should have a serious drink after this.
Livewire is going on next.
No, I
Wanna
meant
wrap
in the
it up?
after party though, briefly.
We can go out back, hang with the grandkids for a little bit. I'll hang out for a few minutes.
Well, I have all those samples from you, Will.
Shh. Got a bunch from you too. I gotta find them all. I actually drank a lot of them. So. Actually, going through the whiskey collection and purging certain things. I'm not going back to it. So.
I did check. The guy has one more bottle of that Glendronach we cracked.
Oh, really? The 2007?
So,
That
Oh.
sucked, right?
I think
Yeah, that
everybody's
sucks
seen
bad.
that. Or not? Did that work?
What is this?
Oh, I know what it is.
Oh, you generated another number. Okay.
Yep. Hang on a second. I haven't generated it yet.
What's that number on the side then?
I haven't hit generate yet. I have not hit generate yet. I just changed the
Oh,
max number
okay.
14. So, our winner for the other prize pack, the book and the sample set. I might have if I was in the window. Number 12.
There you go.
All right. Top shelf. Rigged.
Did Big Vic take
Anthony.
it on the Livewire account? Hey, it's Bourbon Deal
Oh,
Fight.
all right. That you know what? That's two perfect people.
Now
who
we know
really
it's
will
really-
enjoy the
Congratulations, Anthony.
No, Anthony will truly enjoy it. Yeah.
He will. Just reach out to me at pinchhitterump@gmail.com and we'll figure that out. Let me take this thing down and get myself back on screen and we'll do ourselves a little outro once I sort myself out. Stop sharing that. Go away.
Hey, Adriana, thank you for tracking.
Yeah, Adriana, thank you so much for tracking.
Going back and forth with everything. All right.
So, Jim, what's your favorite of the 4 bottles?
That is a good question.
Now that you've finally had them all.
It's either the spring. It's either the spring bank or the Bemore. Don't get me wrong. The Longmore's great, and I like the Morlock, but those two.
The Longmorn is more of a, like, you could just grab it at any time and pour it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Which is why I'm pretty sure I can't find mine, because I think I grabbed it and poured it for somebody, so it's probably sitting in a bag somewhere.
Mm.
It's funny. I keep these all together, so just so I don't lose them.
Yep, same here.
So I can
They
grab
live in the
them. I
same
think
box.
for me,
Matt, I'm surprised they haven't made it to your other location yet.
Well, it's not open yet, so.
But have things started moving there yet?
No. They're still doing construction.
Oh, okay. Do you have a target on that yet, or no?
I'm hoping a couple months.
Okay, because I will probably be bouncing around Texas between February and March.
Oh, yeah, it'll be open way before then, so that'll be perfect.
Okay. With a base of Houston.
Ah, okay. Granted, that's 4 hours from here, but
yeah.
Well, places I want to hit include Bayou, Midland, and San Antonio.
You go see some
so
HPR.
nowhere near each other whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, but I could probably hop quick flights
Okay.
with
There
it,
you
you
go,
know,
but
with
shit, that's a lot
regional
of driving.
carrier.
If you're gonna fly, it doesn't feel bad.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's
My thought is cheap regional carrier. I could probably well in advance book a bunch of flights.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is working just off. Let me do this.
And
All right, so it is about 8:55. So we're gonna wrap this up and send all you over to Livewire to hang out with them. But first, I want to thank my 3 guests, Ben, Matt, and Will. If you guys want to go around the horn and tell everyone where they can find you,
You can find me in the chat. So under Will
or
Dabble.
fighting a kangaroo.
Yeah, depends on the night. Depends on the night. If I'm, having some frisky whiskey. But that's where you'll find me. But Matt,
Whiskey Crusaders. Of course, we've been around for almost 5 years. We do all sorts of fun shit on Monday nights. Drop videos Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. So we're just busy all the time and building a giant whiskey room for educational tastings here in DFW. So lots of fun stuff coming our way.
And I'm Bourbon, aka Whiskey Uncensored. Usually go live Saturday nights around 8 p.m. Eastern, but lately it's been a little inconsistent thanks to all these whiskey meetups going on.
Crazy times.
And I do hunt a little whiskey if there's ever anything you're looking for. You know the guy. Just saying.
all right. And obviously, I'm hosting on the Pinch Hitter Whiskey Lounge. I thank you all for watching. I thank my guests for joining in. Adriana, thank you for tracking. I hope you learned something. I hope you maybe gained a greater appreciation for these 2 giants of the whiskey industry.
Mhm.
And I hope you all have happy drams. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Cheers, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.